Absolute Batman is one of the most successful superhero comics in recent years, not only selling millions of copies, breaking sales records, and spearheading DC's new Absolute Universe, but also receiving critical acclaim as a fresh new take on the Dark Knight that has brought a lot of lapsed comic book fans back into the genre. That all being said, it's not great. Don't get me wrong, I'm reading and enjoying the series like most people, and as a comic book fan, I'm very happy to hear anything is getting more people reading comics again. But I also wish the comic that is bringing in this new audience was a better representation of the medium. So here's the biggest things wrong with it. Quick heads up, I'm gonna be getting into what could be considered spoilers for issues 1 to 18, so you have been warned. For starters, it's barely different to the original Batman. This is supposed to be a bold, different version of the character, but does it feel different? The biggest difference is meant to be that Bruce Wayne is not rich in this universe. Okay, he seems to still have more than enough resources to be Batman. Other than him occasionally being shown in his blue-collar job as an engineer, the series is basically still Batman doing Batman things. He might not have futuristic gadgets and tech like the mainline Batman, but it's not really slowing him down at all, so what's the point? I want to see a Bruce Wayne getting fired from his job at CVS because he's always late and they always seem to lose a lot of black eyeshadow when he's working. The other biggest difference is supposed to be that in this universe, his mum, Martha Wayne, is still alive.
Why did you say that name?
And it was only Thomas Wayne who was gunned down by a criminal. Now, Batmum is almost certainly going to be a more important character going forward based on the events of issue 18, but for 17 issues, she's basically been a background character who has barely had any impact on the story. Which seems odd since her existence is meant to be one of the main things that separates Absolute Batman from regular Batman. So if the things that are meant to be the main differences aren't actually that different, then what is actually different about this version of Batman? Well, he's massive. Specifically 6'9" and 420 pounds, which for reference is about the size of the guy who played the Mountain on Game of Thrones. Now, that would be an interesting and potentially fun way to change the Batman character, if it wasn't for the other way this universe is actually different, which is most of his enemies are all huge monster versions of Batman's original Rogues Gallery, thus making Absolute Batman's size seem normal by comparison. Might as well just make the entire Absolute universe a foot tall and see if anyone notices. And while we're talking about the enemies, it's mostly just big monster versions and that's it. We got Black Mask first, looks kinda creepy and interesting enough. Then Slender Man Mr. Freeze, which was also an interesting change and looked really creepy. Then we get Bane but bigger and Killer Croc but bigger. Really pushing the boat out creatively for these reimaginings. Well, at least they're building up an absolute Joker that seems quite different to the original without making him a giant monster. Oh, for f***'s sake. At least, if you take out the monster part, they've made this Joker different by making him an international criminal mastermind who's built up a great wealth and influence over his unnaturally long lifespan. Wait a minute. They just made him Ra's al Ghul!
Though father's name was pronounced Raish, not Raz. A common mistake.
Oh, shut up, Talia. Or Talia. They also show the reader that Bruce's mates from childhood are characters that will almost certainly become Two-Face, Riddler, and Penguin, which did actually create a bit of intrigue as to just how they might become monster bad guys. But then, Bigger Bane just finds them and beats them into exactly the correct disfigurements required for each of them to become their respective villains. Well done, DC.
You raised my hopes and dashed them quite expertly, sir. Bravo!
To sum this all up, this comic is a classic case of style over substance. Yes, we get the cool monster enemies, and a massive Batman, and a Batmobile that's a big-ass mining truck that's bigger than my home, and a Bane kaiju fight that I actually did enjoy for how ridiculously over the top it was, and a more violent Batman who somehow manages to still not kill anyone. But once you actually read the comics, it's mostly just predictable plot points, corny dialogue, and Alfred's nonsensical narration. Like I said at the start, I enjoyed the comic, and I thought it was a bit of fun. But I'm also annoyed that it had the potential to be great and wasn't. Also, the Batman Annual by Daniel Warren Johnson was awesome. Just had to fit that in somewhere. But if you disagree with me and want to tell me what I got wrong, then please let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this one. And if you would like to hear more in-depth thoughts about this or any other comic books, then you should definitely check out the Comic Literate podcast where me and my co-host do a deep dive on a different comic every week. Okay, that's all the plugs. Thanks for watching.